Right, who's going to feed back? What's your name, sorry?
Zoe.
Zoe said she'll do it. She doesn't mind.
Unless someone else likes him.
Unless, does anybody else want to do it?
I'll hold it. I think I'm just tall enough.
Good communication skills, like listening and speaking. Fair on seeing everybody else's point of view. That's it.
Right, the four that we felt that was most important, firstly was for Funky Dragon Raps to feedback and keep the lines of communication open.
Well, speak out for what you believe in or the people you represent believe in, as well as feeding back, because without the confidence to do that, then you can't represent the young people that you're representing.
Commitment, you need to come to the AGMs and all that kind of stuff. So just to show that you're committed and you actually believe in what Funky Dragon stands for. Confident, so you can speak up in front of people and, as she said, feedback and forth. And it shows well on the Funky Dragon rep.
Okay, for those of you who weren't here, just to give you a brief bit of information about what we did before the break. We started working on the 3 portfolio areas of education, health and the environment. And we started looking at some work from a consultation that we've done previously and also coming up with our ideas for what we think are the main issues within each of those portfolios. And what we've tried to do is group them into themes, so where similar ideas came up from lots of different people, we've put them into a group. What we're going to do now is just for half an hour is go into 3 groups, so just on the 3 portfolios now, and think about what it is that Funky Dragon can possibly start to do about the top issues that you voted for.
It's like you get one ticket and you get punched. You get a punched hole in it for every trip.
So you can say that there's more regular bus services needed.
If you really wanted to go big about it, you could always do like London does and have Oyster cards.
Okay guys, we've done a little bit on that topic, just so that we don't lose focus. Should we do a little bit on the second half there? Which was, do you want to write the heading of medical services? So what have you said?
How many of you was told sex ed by teachers?
It was a mixed teacher.
Anyone got a nurse that did it for them?
Just sex education, like worker.
For the county?
Yeah, she came once, like.
Basically, your local participation strategy sets out what your local authority should do to involve you, children and young people, in decision making about things that affect you in your local authority. Okay? We're going to have a 3-month consultation about strategy guidance, which will say that the local authorities have to do some things. So in other words, there's a bit of legislation in place. There's a law, which is the Children and Families Measure, which says that local authorities have to include you in decisions, yeah? And that's going to come into force now through this guidance. And the bottom line should be that children and young people in your local authority should be more empowered and more included in decisions that the authority takes. What do you think are the most important things that need to go in that strategy? Who do you think needs to be involved in that strategy? So that would be in writing the strategy, in making sure it works, and then in reviewing it. And then decide what you would, how could you make sure that the strategy was effective? You know, so what would you do to make sure that it was actually working? And then what I'd like you to do is to think about how you would sell your strategy, A, to children and young people, and B, to your local authority.
First of all, we looked at who we need to be reaching. So it's really the hard-to-reach groups. So that could be things like young carers, it could be people who are home educated, but then also there's a huge group of young people that generally just aren't consulted, and that's the under 11, so the ones who are in primary school.
The councils need to provide adequate financial support.
It's all well and good the council saying, okay, we'll take the young people in consideration without, actually putting some money and backbone into it.
How to make it effective, make it young people friendly, tell other people about it through their youth clubs, groups that work with young people, schools, councils, local AMs, hostels, care homes, and colleges, so like care homes and like for children who need care.
Social services and all.
And who would it be? We'd invite youth clubs, girl guides, any organisation across the area with a young person in, such as even if there's people in like a youth shelter or youth hostel, because they're homeless, invite those because those young people have views too.
We felt that it was really important to advertise our local youth forums, because we felt that just not enough people knew about it. There wasn't enough kind of advertisement for it.
From next Tuesday, the consultation on the local participation strategy guidance will be up live on the Welsh Government website. So when that actually happens, I'll send an email round to all the youth forum workers, participation people, and then we want to get as many people involved as possible.
What we're going to do is do a little activity around the UN Convention, and then I'm going to tell you about a project that we've got going on that you guys might like to sign up to. I'm going to get you to get into pairs, and then Doc's going to come around and give you each one article from the convention. And I want you in your pair to come and look at the pictures and decide which picture you think best represents that right. There's no right or wrong answer. It's not like a matching the picture with the right, it's just an opinion. Then in your pair I want you to discuss how do you think that particular right affects your life as a young person living in Wales.
You have the right to learn and use the language and custom of your family, whether or not these are shared by the majority of the people in the country where you live.
Okay, what do you think about how that right affects your life?
So you can speak English or Welsh.
Government should ensure children are properly cared for and protect them from violence, abuse and neglect by their parents or anyone else who looks after them.
Okay, and how do you think that right affects your life?
Make sure you know when kids go to school, teachers look after them as well. That's where the people have carers to look after kids. You know, they've learned and qualified enough to make sure they can take care of that child.
Okay, so about being properly trained to do the job that you're paid to do, really?
Yeah. Make sure the child's safe in that whole.
Yeah.
Tell me, how do you think a young person can get 1,000 ballot papers?
Stay all night.
There's an online facility, and I think we've had 15 young people who've got 1,000 plus each. So we've got 15 prizes to get, 15 certificates. And what they did, one in a sixth form college did a registration insert into the registration documents, and everyone had clocked in. And then over the week, there was a little note saying, please, hi guys, can you fill this in for me? Let me have it by Wednesday, give it your form tutor and whatever. And they got 750 in 1 week, and then did something in a project that they were working with. Another one did a school assembly, stood up there for 10 minutes, and the school had 1,200 pupils in it, and he got 1,100 papers by the end of the day. So
I don't know if you can remember back on Wednesday when I told you briefly about a video diary room. Yes? Everyone listening? Okay. That is part of recording what you get out of Funky Dragon. It's an opportunity for you to go and give your thoughts, 5 minutes, and it's going to be set up at residentials throughout your time on Funky Dragon.
What has been your best moment of Funky Dragon?
I think getting to go into the different groups and then meeting with the ministers about different things in like the education environment and like health groups, so we could see like actually what happens, and we could talk to officials, so we could see like what we've been practicing actually goes into place.
My best moment on Funky Dragon is probably in making new friends and having new experiences with politics.
Meeting all the new people.
Feeling like you've made a difference.
Okay, what skills do you think you've gained by being on Funky Dragon?
Being more confident, more social, yeah, just like I've got more confidence in myself, and yeah, everything.
Well, I've managed to build my confidence up. I've been able to talk to big audiences, and I've been able to adapt to people's liking. Well, I've got the furthest point I can go in youth politics. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. yeah, I've just basically developed myself in a person.
Confidence and group work.
I think I've become a lot more confident, and my public speaking's become a lot better. And I think generally social skills have become a lot better as well. Yeah.
As well as the video diary, we're going to be asking you to complete questionnaires at your first residential, somewhere in the middle, at your first going on to second residential, somewhere in the middle again, and another one when you're leaving. And if you stay, you're just going to go on and on and on.
We've got 2 questionnaires. Now obviously, because this is the start of the period of what we're doing, you don't have the baseline stuff to look back on, but we'd ask you to use your imagination and your memories to think about how you were when you started, and kind of give us as much detail as you can, really. So in that sense of when we plan things in the future, when more young people come through, that we can continue to improve what Funky Dragon does.
There's similar questions for each set, wherever you are in the year though, because what we want to do is within time, we want to look back and be able to say, so when Tom gets to here, we want to be able to compare if there is a difference, okay? And if you have got anything out of it.
All the different colours are the different bits, so I feel like I got everything out of Funky Dragon that I could have. Purple definitely not, red definitely yes. And then if you can put comments underneath so we can obviously learn from your experiences.